Hi there, this is Tomi Abibu from Big Cell Media. Now, today we are happy to interview Doug Rainbolt, who is a CMO from Chief Outsiders. They specialize in driving sales and profitabilities for companies. And Doug will be sharing with us the importance of a design thinking in digital transformation within companies. How can companies impute design thinking in their processes today to enhance a digital transformation? Perhaps you can start by sharing with us a little bit more about yourself.
Hi, I'm Doug Rainbolt. I'm a fractional CMO with a firm called Chief Outsiders. I've been there about 5 years, and what I do provide fractional CMO services to mid-sized companies. Been in tech for like 35 years, a long period of time, and have some pretty deep expertise as far as design, in many cases incorporating design thinking.
Thanks very much, Doug, for that. Now, can you share with us what design thinking is?
Yeah, I'm really glad to share with you my thoughts on design thinking and why it's important. You know, the idea basically it's really a problem-solving process. It could be any problem, it could be IT, it could be software, it could be anything for that matter. But the idea basically is to apply logic, applies reason, through empirical data that drives design. And it's been around for decades. In the old years, it really was, designers saying, gosh, there must be a better way than just, being intuitive. There must be a process to go through that's more empirically based that can drive it. And that's where it really came from. There are 4 key axioms that drive it. I call them axioms because in many ways they've been proven to work, assumed to work as far as a process flow. The first one really, and the most important one is to really dig deep into a problem, right? What is the problem we're trying to solve? We find, too many firms try to jump right away to a solution. There's that orientation, must be human desire to avoid pain and go to the pleasure. And we think, well, we could just kind of skip through the pain and the agony and design a solution, when really the important part is to bear the pain, to think about the pain, to experience the pain, to interview people, to get involved with them. And oftentimes in design thinking relative to IT our software involves talking to users, involving the users in their experiences. The key point here I'll make is that in many observations I've made, the managers tend to think they know what's going on as far as workflow and problem solving and what the app should be doing, but they don't really know firsthand based on what needs to get done to get things done. And oftentimes in a design thinking workshop that brings together the employees and it brings together the management and IT, the users will just freely confess what's going on to get things done. And you see these managers' eyes like, whoa, I had no idea we're doing that, or why would we do that? So they're really confronted then with some of the pain, the visceral pain and the issues and so on that workers experience in terms of getting work done. So based on that user feedback and the input and a lot of group dynamic around really digging into the problem, from there, the idea basically is to find, solutions that make sense. But that makes sense might be predicated based on free-form thought. What might be possible? What's really out there that could be thought of? Really brainstorming wildly what could be as far as unleashed imagination for problems. And that's the fun part oftentimes, is to spend time doing that. But from that comes this idea, how do we take all these ideas and prioritize these ideas into a series of prototypes we can build out? And you build them out and you test them fairly quickly in those environments and to see what's working. And from there, you bring it down to 1 or 2 that do make sense. And you can say, this one is the one that works the best. It's been informed by deep dive into the problem, deep dive relative to the customer feedback, being the users. It meets the business objectives. And then from there, really it's this idea of launching it, getting out there and using it. So that's kind of the idea behind design thinking. Now, the application to Crown Interactive, more specifically CICOD, is much of the tools the company has. For example, the workflow manager really, in my mind, embodies the intent behind design thinking, the idea that users should be really involved in terms of the process. They should be involved relative to outlining problems, involved relative to helping design best practice in terms of workflow improvements in the organization. And then using a no-code tool like CICOD, being able through Workflow Manager to design quickly a process that makes sense, a workflow that makes sense, and to see firsthand how it works fairly quickly and then to iterate fairly quickly. So that's really the idea. You can really see some parallels between design thinking and what CICOD is all about in a no-code environment. And one of the benefits here is, I must say, the users get really energized by being involved. They love to be asked questions, love to be engaged, love to be heard about the core problems. And in doing so, what I've seen is more engagement. They want to be involved because when they're involved in the solution definition, they feel a sense of ownership. They feel a sense of engagement, this obligation. And today, when retention is so important for organizations, having an informed workforce that wants to be there, that's involved in their job, in their workflow creation, that's been automated, then you really set yourself up for more success and more retention of top employees. And with that, then comes the growth. And by the way, with this too comes the idea that management spends less time trying to fix things behind the scenes that are broken, and spend more time strategically on what can grow the business. So you have happy employees, more efficiency, which means less cost, more growth. At the end, happier customers and revenue. Okay, so it's really a good deal for the company. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Doug, for that input. That is very, very insightful. And yes, we do agree that user involvement is the key to better outcomes when it comes to app development and rollout into the market. Now, to learn more about CICOD, how can this product be beneficial to you? How can you impute your processes into this product with the different applications that you can utilize? Please do go to CICOD.com. That's www.CICOD.com. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to submit your inquiries on the Contact Us page.